Hi, everybody. Welcome to Better Lait Than Never. Shit.
I'm not actually inside a women's prison at the moment.
The horniest just went up to like 11.
Good afternoon.
At least say a big f*** you to Nick.
Tyler Yaremchuk must go to Cinco de Mayo.
Ty, why won't you kiss me?
Better late than never with bagged milk.
Better late than never with bagged milk.
It's better late than never.
Better late than never.
Better late than never.
Fight me if you don't agree.
Long live Arby's. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Better late than never. Brand new episode of the podcast coming up. Plenty to talk about. First, I got to give a shout out to the audio department. The audio department works to create a safe space for creativity and collaboration for artists and musicians to realize their potential and share their message through sound and story. Go book some studio time. Theaudiodepartment.ca. That's where you got to go. That's where you can book. That's where you got to do everything you need. Welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Bag Milk. How are you doing?
Pretty excited, Satan. Pretty monumentous day for me today. I'll get into it.
Did you actually talk to a human girl this time? Oh my god, that would be crazy.
No, still waiting for my time, Big Dave. Still waiting for my time. Where should I start? Oh, I don't know. What did I do this morning? Well, thanks to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant out in Sherwood Park, Alberta, your boy has purchased a new whip.
So like a whip for doing kinky shit, or what are you talking about? All Satan can think about is spanking that bum.
No, Satan, not a whip for sexy time activities. I actually bought myself a car. The reason I bring that up is because I am so notoriously cheap that I don't do this kind of stuff very often. I don't buy myself stuff. If you listen to this podcast for any length of time, you've probably noticed some of my cheapnesses climbing through, but ultimately what pushed the decision towards buying something new was I was just having issues with my old one. My Ford Escape, my beloved Ford Escape, I bought it in 2009. So let me do some math here. I don't know if you can follow through and just be like, yeah, you get 2009 is 2024. You subtract that from that one, and what does it mean? Oh, 15 years I've had that car. So I'm one of those people that I drive a car forever. That is how I've always been. That's kind of how the old man raised me. And that's just kind of always been the quote unquote culture in our family. Outside of my brother rotates whips all the time. Anyway, we tend to, as a family, all of us, for the most part, we just keep our whips and we maintain them and we try and drive our cars for as long as possible. Well, mine was 15 years old, as I mentioned. Well loved that thing. Still do love that thing. I've got it for another couple of days. I might cry when I turn it in, but I won't really. It just got to the point where now it's having some issues. It's having some issues and they're becoming more frequent. And this latest round of problems that I've had with my old one kind of just was the last straw because the estimate I got to repair it was worth more than the car. Now, there's part of it where I go, well, that's still cheaper than buying a new car. And that's true. But for me, the way I thought about it was there's this time. But this time, this set of problems where essentially what's happening is it's dumping exhaust into the cabin anytime I have my air vents on. Think about that for a second. I'm going to let you reflect on what I just said. Think of your own car, perhaps. How often do you have your air vents on? Oh, all the time? Well, that's a problem. So essentially the options I had here are never having my vents on, not great in a cold day, or driving around with my windows open. And for the most part, over the last little bit, I've been driving around with my windows open while I tried to figure out what to do. So I was shopping around, I was looking at different ideas and different kind of cars, and I reached out to the folks at Sherwood Ford, and they were great. They took care of me in a very, very real way. But this isn't like I got a free car or anything. I am buying it. It's just they gave me a really good deal and really great service, and I can't wait to pick it up on Friday. So I got myself a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport. I never do this, so I'm excited. I had a little bit of cash to put down. I got my trade in, which I'm surprised they gave me anything for my current vehicle, given how old it is and just how many kilometers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm super excited. So I want to thank Mike at Sherwood Ford for hooking me up. He was my sales rep. I want to thank Curtis at Sherwood Ford. He was kind of my contact that I knew. We played some hockey together at the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament a couple years ago. So they just did a really, really great job. And if you're looking for a vehicle, new or used, because my initial intention when I went to Sherwood Ford is I'm going to buy a used vehicle. They're like, yeah, we got plenty. Come look. And then as I was looking around and thinking about it and contemplating, and they were offering me what they did, I just kind of, listen, if the plan is to keep this one for the next 15 years, which I plan to, maybe get a couple of toys. Maybe get a couple of toys in it. I've always wanted heated seats. Never had them. Except with my beloved Alfa Romeo. R.I.P. Valtteri. R.I.P. I hope whoever bought from me, by the way, whoever bought Valtteri from me is treating it well. Again, that wasn't my car. That was the dealership's car, and I was driving it as like a promo thing. But for me, it felt like my car. I took care of it like my baby, and I'm going to do that with my new whip. I don't have a name for it yet. It will come to me, I'm sure, when I drive around with it a little bit. It's kind of like seeing a baby for the first time. You don't want to name it until you actually see it. I know a lot of people have their baby names picked out before it emerges into the world, but for me, I'm going to drive the car around a little bit and I'm going to see what happens. So again, shout out to Mike at Sherwood Ford. He was my rep today. Very, very helpful. Very, very, of course he wants to sell a car because he's going to get a commission, but that wasn't the vibe I got today. It was, they knew I was kind of looking around. They knew I was being patient. And there was never once where I felt like, hey, are you going to buy the car? Hey, are you going to buy the car? Hey, are you going to buy the car? What's going on? Do you want to buy the car? It was nothing like that. It was just a fantastic experience from start to finish. Go pick it up on Friday, and I'm super excited about it. So for me, as somebody who's notoriously cheap, this whole day is blowing my mind of what I did today. The whole day is blowing my mind. So again, thank you to Sherwood Ford. I'm just super excited. And to my beloved 2010 Escape that I bought in mid-2009 or whenever the year model comes out. To my beloved Escape, I'll miss you. We've still got a couple of days together. We're going to drive around. I'll have a funeral of sorts for you. I'll be sad to miss you. I'll be sad that you're gone. That is a fine car. And if I wasn't huffing exhaust after just having to put $1,500 into it like a month ago, maybe we wouldn't be talking about this today. But unfortunately, it was one of those ones where over the last calendar year, I've probably had to do more maintenance on the vehicle than I would prefer to do, if that makes sense, you know? So I'm looking forward to it. If you see me on the road, you won't know it's me. But you can wave. And if I wave back, probably wasn't me. Either way, shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford. I'm going to do a full photo shoot of the whip here coming up. My boy Waz, maybe I'll get Kennedy to help me. I don't know. We'll have some fun with it. We plan on shooting some content inside the car as well. So you'll get a good look at her. Follow me on socials. I'm sure I will take you along on the journey for my beloved new vehicle that is yet to be named. Drove around today. I felt about 48% sexier. Even talking about buying a new car today makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. Part of me had just this idea in my head where I was like, I'm never going to tell anybody I bought a new car. And people at the office are going to be like, hey, did you get a new vehicle? Like, that's not your Escape that you've driven since forever. I go, nope, not mine. But that was just stupid. Like, I don't know why I'm so embarrassed all the time, but that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Moving on. Again, Sherwood Ford the Giant out in Sherwood Park. They were so, so good to me. They will be good to you. They will be good to you. Promise. Moving on. Another weird thing that I did this week, and this isn't weird to anybody, but it is weird to me just because I'm not used to it. I went and got myself contact lenses for the first time in forever. I'm going to say probably 2014-ish, 2015-ish. I used to wear contacts every day. I was a big contact guy. Wore them more often than my glasses. And then that flipped because I ran out of my dailies and I just kind of never went back and got some. So I've just been wearing glasses for the last 5-6 years pretty religiously. So on Saturday, I went to get contact lenses. And number one, no need to applaud.
Nobody's applauding you, believe me.
My My, what was I going to say? Oh, my prescription hasn't changed. Jay Downton texting me about something unrelated to talking to you about my contacts, and it distracted me, derailed me entirely. So, yeah, I went to get contacts. My prescription hadn't changed, which I found was alarming because it's also been a minute since I've had an eye exam. That was cool. 2, got me some contact lenses. So as I'm waiting for them to kind of put together my stuff before to send me home, all I could think about was how bizarre contact lenses are. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. You get a little piece of bendy plastic, you stick it in your eye, and somehow you see better than you used to could. They're not new, but it made me wonder what was this story with contacts, and it's fucking nuts. The first glass contact lenses appeared in 1887, 1888. So it's been a minute. However, the prototypes and the early ideas for contact lenses actually arose in the 1600s to 1800s. Some early ideas refined Da Vinci's concept and led to several contact lens prototypes. In the 1630s, French scientist and philosopher René Descartes came up with an idea for a glass tube filled with water and fitted with a lens on the end. The tube would be held by the eye by hand, making it impractical. But the fact that the lens would be held only against the cornea rather than the entire eye was insightful. In 1801, British scientist John Young created glass contact lens prototype filled with water. He asphyxiated it to his own eye using wax.
Oh my God, I'm gonna vomit if you keep reading this shit. It's disgusting.
Young's prototype tested the theories of both Da Vinci and Descartes. In 1827, British astronomer Sir John Herschel improved on Young's prototype by developing principles for improving the fit. This was done through improved grinding of the inside and outside curve of the lens, as well as creating a mold of the eye for a more accurate fit.
I swear if you don't stop reading this, I'm gonna fucking puke all over your roadcaster. It's so disgusting. There's just something about putting things in your eye that Satan doesn't like. There's something about it that really bothers Satan. Satan has perfect vision. I've got better than 20/20, and I always have, and that's part of the pleasure of being the Lord of fucking darkness. But as for all of you, you're all disgusting.
Moving on. The first glass contact lens, think about that, glass contact lens. In 1887, F.A. Muller, a German maker of glass eyeballs, manufactured a glass contact lens that covered your entire eye. This lens wasn't designed to correct vision. It was actually meant to protect a diseased eye, kind of like an eye patch. Listen, so I got contacts on Saturday. Today's Wednesday as I'm recording. I don't even like putting those modern ones in my eye. Could you imagine a full glass contact lens that slipped over your eye? Glass? What if anything happened? You're walking and you're not paying attention. I know in 1887 there were no cell phones. We're eliminating that possibility. But what could happen is you're walking down the street and you see a delightful bird, and that bird is all kinds of colors. Or maybe you see something sparkly in a window and you turn to look at said sparkly item in the window, and you keep walking forward and you smash your face against a pole of some kind, which I imagine in 1867 was not a power pole, but some kind of candle chandelier type device. And you break that full eye contact lens glass in your eye, and then you never see again.
I swear if you keep this up, I'm puking. I swear if you keep this up, Satan is protesting the podcast.
All right. Relax. In 1888, Adolf Eugen Fick, a German physiologist, fitted the first glass contact lens onto patients. Like Muller's design, the lens covered the whole eye, but it also corrected vision. He later made versions of the lens that were corneal, covering only the cornea, which is closer to what we know today, rather than the scleral, covering the entire eye surface. Fick's invention is sometimes thought of to be the first truly usable contact lens. In 1936, that's where the plastic lenses came out, and so on and so forth, and they've just advanced, beyond that since now. Daily disposables came out in 1994. Silicone hydrogel contacts, 2001. Again, None of that matters. I'm just thinking about who are the poor suckers that were testing out the glass full eyeball lens. They're like, yeah, no, it's definitely gonna fix your vision. You're definitely gonna be able to see better. However, there's a small chance, teeny chance, this thing breaks in your eye and you never get to see again. So, you in or no? Either way, contacts are fucking gross. I still can't put the one on my left eye very well. It's been too long. I'm out of practice. Right eye, boom, right in. Left eye, takes me a minute. I get there. Also, a weird thing, and this is just me complaining because I got beautiful brown eyes. You get that little blue loopy around your eye. Looks kind of weird. I look scary, I feel like. But I can see. That's what matters. Anyway. Do you care? Does anybody care? I don't know why you would, if I'm being honest.
I can tell you they definitely don't care. Satan is part of the podcast and Satan doesn't give a fuck.
I care about everything you say because you sign my paychecks. I love contact lenses.
Let's get to the news. The news is brought to you by Star Mechanical. Star Mechanical is one of Edmonton's biggest locally owned and operated plumbing and heating businesses. They've been working within the community for over 20 years, and many of the homes built in Edmonton over the last 2 decades have had their plumbing and heating systems installed by Star Mechanical. They offer 24/7 emergency service, and if you visit them at starmechanical.ca, you can schedule an appointment to have them help you keep your house in good working order. Starting off with the news, we've only had 2 games since the last episode of the podcast, so I just want to walk through those really quickly. Really quick, just real quick, On Wednesday, it was my first game going to the game at Rogers Place in quite a while. I think I went in October. I think I did. Doesn't matter. It's been a minute. So I went to the game with Liam Horman on Wednesday. That was the game against the Capitals. And I got to say, it's been covered a bunch of times. I'm not going to go into it too much, but that was the most fun I've had at Rogers Place for a mid-March Oilers game in forever. The Connor Brown goal, electric. The late Zach Hyman call, everybody's chucking hats. With only 90 seconds left, all the Washington Capitals players were pissed off. I loved it. I never stay in the building for when they hand out the 3 stars. I did that night. I wanted to see who got first. Of course, it was Zach Hyman. He got a hat trick. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Connor Brown. The place would have gone bananas. He got a standing O for his first goal of the game. People were chucking hats on the ice for his first goal of the season. It's crazy, man. But at the same point, do I ever love Oilers fans? I love Oilers fans that's what we did. I think about that night, 7 days out. I still think about it because it was so much fun. Shout out to Connor Brown. And shout out to the Capitals for allowing that to happen. That's good shit. That's good shit. On Saturday, the Oilers lost to the Colorado Avalanche, and I thought it was a very exciting game. So I was surprised to see my boy Frank Saravalli from dailyfaceoff.com say that the Oilers were outclassed by the Avalanche, despite the fact that they lost in the very last second of overtime. I didn't think they were outclassed. Now, Colorado's a really good team. But the Oilers are a good team too. And I found it surprising that was Frank's feedback on that game because that wasn't really the sense that I had. Now, listen, the Colorado Avalanche had way too many opportunities to do their thing. Nathan McKinnon was flying around, way too many shots on goal. All of that is true. But outclassed? I don't know. I just think that's 2 high-octane teams that are really getting after it. And if you give me 7-game series of that, fuck, man, we're having a heart attack couple of weeks. It's the same thing as when the Oilers lost to the Bruins 6-5 in OT. That game was electric. Give me 7 games of that. We're all happy. We may die. We may collapse. Our tickers may give out. But man, what a fun series it would be on the way there, No matter what happens, though, I feel like I got to start digging a hole in my yard to make sure that I'm prepared for a body-sized hole come playoff time because these games are going to be intense down the stretch. Not only are they, a bunch of big games like tomorrow, the Oilers look for revenge over the Buffalo Sabres. That's on Thursday. Then they've got a big weekend coming up, another back-to-back weekend. They're also trying to chase the Canucks down for first place in the division. The Oilers are 8 points behind the Canucks right now with 3 games in hand. This is doable, people. I talked about this on last week's podcast. Waz clipped it, put it up on our Instagram. People were like, no, you can't do that. You can't catch the Canucks. No way. I'm telling you, they can, man. They can. The Canucks 6-2-2 in their last 10. Oilers 7-1-2. Guess which record's better? Not by a whole lot. I get it. Still fascinating. Also fascinating looking at the standings is Vegas is in the second wildcard spot currently as I'm talking to you on March 20th in the afternoon. They have got a 3-point lead on the Minnesota Wild for the second wildcard spot, but there's teams that are right there in the mix. I would love nothing more than for Vegas to go out and make all those moves. All kinds of fuckery, allegedly, in my opinion, only to have them miss the playoffs. It'd be great. It'd be electric. Speaking of electric, the Nashville Predators, they occupied the first wildcard spot right now, 3-game win streak, 8-0-2 in their last 10 games. They are absolutely buzzing right now. So I think the point that I'm trying to get at here is that this playoff push, this last stretch drive, is going to be intense. Star Mechanical. You're going to have to be not only just heating and cooling homes, you're going to have to make house calls to calm us all down. Can't wait. I love this last stretch drive. But at the same point, we're also in that part of the season where I just want to get the playoffs started, you know? I just want to get the playoffs started. But that's not how it works. We have a schedule for a reason. Satan, do you think there's any chance that Vegas misses the playoffs? I know that they sold their soul to you for last year's cup and also their ability to do some cap fuckery, allegedly, in my opinion.
Listen, if you think there's any way the Vegas Golden Knights are going to miss the playoffs, you don't understand Satan's power. You don't understand how much I love limousines filled with prostitutes. And that's what I get every time I'm in Vegas. I've got a very special attachment to Vegas in my heart. Satan, you may think that Satan doesn't have a heart, but anytime I go to Vegas, it grows 3 sizes, just like my schwanz. Don't look that up. You can Google it on your own time. Not necessarily Satan's schwanz, but just what that word means. You get it. Pretty sure you get it.
I don't get it. Can you explain it to me? It sounds dirty.
No, Quads! Damn it, Big Dave. You're too young for this. Fuck. Anyway, Vegas is definitely going to make the playoffs. I know you got some betting odds on them missing. That's coming up later for our folks at Bet99, but Satan's here to tell you they made a deal with me, and it exists, and it's a pact, and we are tight. And listen, Oilers fans, I know you don't want to hear from Satan selling wins to other teams outside the market, but Satan's running a business here. Listen, I don't get paid on my good looks and huge cock for nothing, you know? I gotta make deals.
That was way too much information. Way too much information. Of course, we're working through the news for Star Mechanical. Last night, I want to talk about last night's win over the Montreal Canadiens. It was an ugly game, wasn't it? Wasn't it ugly? Like, it was one of those ones where, yes, the Oilers won. That's the most important thing. But I don't know how many of those... I don't know how many takeaways that you want to carry forward, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Oilers were, in my opinion, outworked. They were not outskilled, and that's why they won. Goaltending, wash. My boy Calvin Pickard, all of a sudden, this guy, anytime he goes in the net, I'm not nervous anymore. He's kind of like a scary goalie to watch sometimes, just because I think that he's kind of like jerky with his motions. He kind of reminds me of Mike Smith used to be like that, where there was a lot of stuff just kind of going on, a lot of movement, and it kind of scared me. And Calvin Pickard's like that a little bit. But right now, the guy's just picked up his 10th win. He's got a .919 save percentage to go along with the 225 goals against. He's got the shutout. Last night against the Habs, he was great. A .920 against the Habs last night in 25 saves. He wasn't as busy as his counterpart at the other end of the rink, but he still had to come up big. He still had to make big saves. And the Oilers called upon him far too often for my liking. Down the stretch specifically, like the Oilers had a 2-goal lead going into the third period. If they were playing at the top of their game, with their A game, that is game over, done. But last night they had probably the B or C level game, and that meant Calvin Pickard had to be standing on his head. But that now makes 4 straight appearances for old Sneaky Picks, where he's got a save percentage of .909 or higher. So against the Penguins, he had .957. That was the first game against the Penguins. Against CBJ, that was a loss. He had a .909. Still played all right, I suppose. Pittsburgh, shutout. Last night against Montreal, the 920 with the 2 goals against on 25 shots. So Calvin Pickard, you just got to give the guy some love right now. Another guy you got to give some love, but we always do. Connor McDavid scored arguably one of the sexiest goals I've seen him do score in quite some time last night. He made every player on the Montreal Canadiens look like they've never played before. They were all watching him. They were waving their sticks. He dangled the whole squad, and then he dumped the puck into an empty net. And when it was all over, he barely celebrated because it was kind of one of those goals where you go, holy shit. For myself personally, I probably watched the replay 15, 20 times. Took it in with me into my bed last night via my cell phone just because I wanted to watch it.
That's not the only reason you bring your cell phone into bed, let's be honest.
You get out of here. You're not supposed to be watching me. Last night, Connor not only scored the goal, he had an assist that brings him to 82 assists on the season. He is going to get 100 assists. He would become only the 4th player to ever do it. Wayne did it 11 times. Wayne Gretzky is an absolute freak. 11 times. Mario Lemieux did it once. Bobby Orr did it once. And no one else. 100 assists. No one else. And our captain has the opportunity to do that this year. He is an apple tree. He stinks like apple cider. He is an orchard. He is every apple pun you can think of, all mixed into one. And I love it. Connor McDavid, I love you, buddy. Here is a round of applause just because I think you deserve it. You're welcome. There you go. I know that probably made your day. Also, another guy I want to look at, Adam Henrique, last night against the Montreal Canadiens, scored his first goal as an Oiler. Love to see that. You can almost see the relief on his face. In the GDB, which is the game day preview at Oilers Nation yesterday, Gregor wrote about how difficult it is for Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick, both new guys that came over the trade deadline, to not have their families around. And I think that's one of those things that we often forget when we're looking at players, is the personal side of what's going on. So Adam Henrique last night was his 6th game with the Oilers. He had 1 assist up until last night. Last night he picked up his first goal, and there were some Oilers fans who were just kind of like, man, we paid a first-round pick for this guy. Got to get fucking going, you know? Got to get going. Even old sneaky Sam Carrick had his first goal. Last night he picked up his first, looked relieved. Just happy to contribute. And I was happy for him. I was thrilled for him. According to Gregor, family's going to be showing up. And that's not necessarily to say everything's going to flip like an on switch when the family show up. But you kind of have to appreciate the human element of being like, well, maybe he plays better when he's a little bit happier at home. Happy wife, happy life, happy on ice play. I don't know. Could be something there. Another amazing stat I want to read after last night is from Bob Stauffer. Since being acquired from the Nashville Predators, Matthias Ekholm has played 85 games with the Edmonton Oilers. 85 games. He has 9 goals, 35 assists for 44 points over that time. So he is producing at better than, wait a minute, am I doing this right? He's producing at a half point per game. You love to see that from a defenseman like that. You love to see it. And I think that I never expected him to be this good after that trade. I knew he was good. I knew he was a stud. And he was one of those players where like, man, I would love if the Oilers found a way to get him. And then they got him. And then he gets here. And from day one, he's just been fantastic. According to Stauffer's tweet also, he is plus 60 in those 85 games, which leads the NHL since February 28th of 2023. That was the day he got acquired. Leads the NHL. I know plus minus isn't everybody's favorite stat right now, but come on. You really gonna scoff at numbers like that? I don't think you should. I don't think it's fair. I think Matthias Ekholm is excellent, and you need to appreciate him. Right? Right. Good. Of course. Next thing, a little bit of weirdness. Last night's game, new line combos went out just before the game. Kane was with McDavid and Hyman. Nuge bumped down to the 3rd line. Coach Nobby not happy with my boy Nuge. I mean, I get it in a way. Nuge, you need some tough love, and it has to come from me, I feel like. You are producing assists at a rate which is spectacular. You too, in your own right, are an apple tree, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. But we need to get some goals coming, my man. We need to see that sneaky little wrister of yours. Even the other day against Colorado, when he had the breakaway in overtime, he tried to do the backhanded deke. If Nuge is on top of his game, if he's really feeling it, he zips that low wrister in there and it goes in every single time. So that's how, to me, that was a very, very visual marker as president and CEO of the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins fan club, that he's just not on top of his game right now, or at least feeling it in terms of goal scoring. Again, he's dishing the puck really, really well, but the goal scoring hasn't been there. So we got bumped down to the third line. Kane got elevated to the first line. Then your second was McLeod, Draisaitl, Fogle. They are humming. Third line, I should say, was Nuge, Henrique, Derek Ryan. Don't like that. No offense to Derek Ryan. He's just not a third line player. Janmark, Carrick, Perry were the fourth line. Carrick, big scrap last night. Much better than the first one, by the way. In the first fight, he probably got punched in the face by Matthew Olivier probably 200 to 300 times. But last night, he did much better for himself. He looked like he was engaged. And quite frankly, I can't think of a better way to, have Oilers fans embrace you than getting in a scrap with Michael Pezzetta at home on a Tuesday night and beating him up in front of a home crowd. Though, I will say, it was a half and half crowd. It's one of those ones where anytime the Montreal Canadiens come to town, you know that there's going to be a half full building of Habs fans. But then it made me wonder, we were talking about on Oilers Nation Radio, are all of them really Habs fans? Are they? Because I don't know that I buy it. I don't know that I buy this idea that every person that was wearing a Montreal jersey in there is actually a Habs fan. I've got a theory that a bunch of them, any other night at Rogers Place, they would be wearing an Oilers jersey. Rick and I both feel it. Rick and I both agree on it. Do you agree on it? Or are these people all just being overcharged for their tickets to Rogers Place, which I respect. If you're an Oilers fan and you did sell your tickets, you might as well gouge somebody. You might as well gouge somebody. Make it a Leafs fan or a Habs fan. That's the way it goes, and that's the way it always should be. Lastly, to wrap up the news reference, Star Mechanical, the Oilers have signed goaltender Connor Unger to a 2-year entry-level contract. The Calgary native played for the Brock Badgers this past season, posting a 20-6 record, along with a 215 goals against average and a 932 save percentage. He is reporting to the Bakersfield Condors. Those numbers are sparkling. 26-0, 2.15 goals against, and a 932 save percentage. You take that every day. Doesn't matter what league you in. Curious to see how he does in the Condors. Curious to see what the Oilers do with their goaltending depth. Curious to see how he performs as a pro. Goalies are voodoo. Goalies can be very good at lower levels, and as they advance, nothing happens. Or they could be an unexpected star that just comes out of the ashes and rises from nowhere. Or they could be a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury who got drafted first overall because he was a really good goalie, and now he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Goalies have such a wide range, and given that there's so few jobs available, you never know what you're getting with them. Ever. Anyway, Connor Unger, congrats to you. Congrats on the new contract. That must feel good. You're going to be getting paid to be a professional hockey player. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. Finally, looking at the schedule, we've got Buffalo tomorrow. That is the last Oilers home game of this current home stand. Then they're off to Toronto on Saturday. They're off to Ottawa on Sunday. And then from there, what do we got? Why am I in the wrong fucking month? Oh, no. And then they've got the Jets on Tuesday, and then I'm back on Wednesday, the 27th, probably. We have an all-day management meeting on the 27th, so I haven't figured out when I'm going to record this podcast yet, but I'll get it done at some point. They've got the Jets at Winnipeg on the 26th. That rounds out this mini 3-game road trip for the Oilers, and that's where we're going to wrap up the Star Mechanical News Hour. StarMechanical.ca. Schedule an appointment and let them help you keep your home running smoothly. Their team of tradespeople are highly skilled and are accommodating for all of their customers. They supply and maintain all major brands like Lennox, Carrier, Goodman, Train, and more. StarMechanical.ca.
You ever get so damn frustrated you don't even know what to say? Well, of course you do, because you're a fan of the Edmonton Oilers. And you're listening to Better Late Than Never.
That voice, just rattled. Mike's got that deep voice. Do you ever want to punch your TV? Chances are you're an Oilers fan because sometimes they piss you off and sometimes they have you fist pumping through the roof because you're so excited. Damn it. For our friends at Bet99, it is time to do a little betting. Of course, Bet99 is the #1 online gaming experience in Canada, built by Canadians for Canadians. Elevate your experience at Bet99. Experience Bet99. Same game parlays, player props, flash bet markets, fast payouts, and smooth transactions. Provide that you are 19 plus, can play responsibly, and you do not live in Ontario. If you live in Ontario, you have to move. Otherwise, you can't play Bet99. And you can't play these bets that I'm going to talk about right now. So this week, we are looking at a couple of different ones. We looked at the winning conference last week. We looked at the winning conference. I still think the Western Conference at even money is free money, right? I think that everything about that is free money. However, this week I want to move on to the divisions. I want to know who is going to win the Stanley Cup. Which division is going to win the Stanley Cup? So currently we have the Atlantic. They've got some very good teams in the Atlantic. Currently at the top of the Atlantic Division, the Bruins, the Panthers, the Leafs. They're not going to win anything. The Tampa Bay Lightning are in the mix as well. Their odds to win the Stanley Cup are plus 230. The Pacific Division, our favorite division, featuring Los Edmonton Oilers. Of course, we've got the Vancouver Canucks in first place. We've got the Edmonton Oilers in second place. We've got the Los Angeles Kings in third place with 81 points in 68 games. The Vegas Golden Knights are next up. They are currently occupying a wild card spot. That is plus 275 if you believe the Pacific Division is going to win. Pretty good chance. The Central and the Metro are both at plus 320. The Central and the Metro. So in the Metro to start, we got New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, Philadelphia Flyers, and the Washington Capitals are in the fourth place. They are battling for the wild card. In the Central, you got Winnipeg, Colorado, Dallas, and Nashville currently occupying a wild card spot. So you got 4 teams in there. If I'm going to give you a little bet, just a sneaky bet, and I'm not going to be a homer on this one, I think I have to go with the Central. The Central's got some very strong teams in there, and I like it. One, Winnipeg's got Connor Hellebuck. They are very good. Colorado, we saw them. Great team. Always will be. Probably, well, not always will be, but currently they are. Number 3, Dallas Stars. They are in third place. 91 points there. They're fucking good and deep, and their goaltender is fantastic. Would it make sense putting a little bit of a bet, just a little dose, a little salting, if you will, on the Central Division to win the Stanley Cup? If it can't be the Edmonton Oilers, then we may as well make some money, even though we know it's going to be the Oilers. You know it's going to be the Oilers, brother. It is going to be the Oilers, brother. We may as well try and make some money, right? And if Bet99 is going to put these layups for us, come on, baby. Come on. Earlier in the news, I was joking about the Vegas Golden Knights not making the playoffs. You want to know odds for it? Of course you do. Have them make the playoffs, that's no fun. That's minus 650. You're no betting on that. But to miss is plus 450. Almost 5 times to 1 on your money. Almost. You into this? I might be into this. I might be. For our friends at Bet99, there's a little bit of betting talk. Of course, they've got the top tier customer service. They have got a proud partnership with Georges St. Pierre, Olivier Aubert-Mercier, CF Montreal, Georges Laraque, and F1 Montreal. That is, whoops, I didn't mean to do that one. I do like that button though. Of course, they are the official betting provider of F1 Montreal. If you are 19 plus and can play responsibly and you're not a person in Ontario, check out Bet99. They've got all the props and services and bets that you could ever hope for, and you're going to have a good time, and you're going to tell them Bag Milk sent you.
In the word of the Pet Shop Boys, I've got the brains, you have the looks. Listen to Better Lait Than Never.
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the Jimmy.
For Trilogy Oilfield Rentals, it's time for the righteous sack beating. Of course, Trilogy Oilfield Rentals are an established provider of tools and expertise across multiple oilfield disciplines, specializing in rentals, pipe recoveries, abandonments, and completions. Currently, they maintain full-time operating units in Provost, Weyburn, and Kindersley. This week, it's just like such a first world problem I'm going to complain about. So if you want to just skip ahead like a minute or so. Because I'm annoyed with myself that I'm complaining about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Does anybody else order packages online? You do? You love online shopping? Okay, well, then maybe you've experienced this. Have you ever experienced something where the people that bring your packages really mail it in? This past week, it was one of those weeks where I really wish I had one of those Ring doorbell cameras so I could have seen what happened, because I had packages laying in my little townhouse yard, nowhere near my door. Nowhere near the door. So the only thing that comes to mind was that they just chucked it into the yard. The only thing that makes sense to me is that they didn't open the gate and walk to my door and put the package down, as one would expect. They just kind of dumped it over the fence because it was in the kind of grassy area where my boy Frank goes out and does his business. Now, in the winter, my little townhouse yard is essentially a pool of piss and shit because I have a dog. And when it's cold outside, I don't really want to take him on a big walk to do his thing. In the summer, we are getting there. I mean, not this week, of course, because it's Alberta. I will take him on a walk to go do his thing, and that's just our routine. But in the winter, it's just not the case. And I pick up all his turds. I do. I grab them right when they're fresh so they can warm your hand in the the depths of the February cold. But those aren't a problem. But Piss Alley is still a problem because he's a male dog and he does what male dogs do. Why are you throwing my packages over there? It's not even anywhere close to my door. As Chris Chalmers would say, do you have any pride in your work? Can't you at least, if you're going to throw it over the fence, throw it over towards the house? Maybe there's some precipitation. Maybe there's some snowfall. Maybe we're at the kind of time of season where it can rain. Why do my packages have to sit in the grass / melting snow because you didn't open the gate and walk it 15 feet to the door? I don't get it. I don't understand it. The other thing that bothered me today, I was driving out to Sherwood Park to go to Sherwood Ford. I got a new whip. I don't know if you heard. I got a new whip and it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting.
Nobody cares about your car, although Satan does want to drive it because it looks fucking sick.
I was driving out to Sherwood Park, and of course we got a little bit of snow in the city last night. Why do we all drive like assholes in the winter? Some people going under the speed limit, a little bit nervous. I accept that. No problem. They're in the right lane. We can work with that. I'm talking about the Hyundai, of course. Other people just driving the speed limit. That's fine too. We can work with that. Other people just ripping past. And I saw a guy honking at someone who is driving the speed limit. We're talking the speed limit. And now I get it. If you're in the left lane and you're driving slow, move over. I get that. But drive to the conditions. Why can't we work together, people? Why are we always in a rush? I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, why?
Rushing till life's no fun.
All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry, I don't know why.
Can't we work together on the roads, please?
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the jimmy.
This is Captain Felton from Vancouver. On behalf of all listeners of Better Late Than Never, Zoll will of thousands. Get fucked.
Time for the voicemail brought to you by Snow Valley Aerial Park and Rainbow Valley Campground. Opening on May 31st, Snow Valley Aerial Park is fun for the whole family all summer long, and attractions include the Aerial Tower, White Mud Creek Mining Company, Target Golf, and the all-new Mini Golf. Creekside Eats will be open for snacks and refreshments. You want to get there. We went a couple of years ago. It's so much fun. You want to do a little camping? The Rainbow Valley Campground is for you. This summer, take advantage of 60 sites and 3 comfort camping domes right here in the city. Rainbow-valley.com. It is the only campground in Edmonton, and I encourage you to go there. Got it? Promise? All right. Let's start off with an anonymous voicemail. It is 10 seconds long, and I'm going to guess this is are you Donkey Volley, anonymous caller?
I'm sorry for the energy drink feel tired on CC, but yeah, I've been pissed off this week. I'm sorry.
There's Ari checking in, enjoying an energy drink, feeling jacked, mad about Cody CC. I get it. Another 12-second message that's anonymous. This is you, Ari?
The puck goes off of CC's skate into the net against Montreal last night. Do you know why? Because he doesn't know when to play the puck or the potty. He's not that good.
Well, we're stuck with him. We're stuck with him from now, Ari. So we can get mad or we can cheer. We can cheer loud. And we could pretend in a world of delusions that we got the upgrade that we all wanted. McMullet chiming in. McMullet, I got to see him before Wednesday's game against the Caps. Again, it's always fascinating to me to actually talk to the guy and hear his game day routine because it blows my mind that he drives up to and from Strathmore on game days. McMullet, sir, good day.
Hey, BM, how's it going?
Excellent.
It's currently 1:55 a.m., almost home after the Tuesday night hockey game against Montreal. Well, we got the W, so that's a good thing.
Did you hear that? It's almost 2 a.m. Last night's game was a 7 o'clock start. It's 2 a.m. and he's still driving home. You madman. I love you so much.
The line blender was out in full force tonight.
Really was.
So, I thought we were going to stomp all over Montreal until I saw that first line come out. And the line blender was out, but I don't mind it because this is a game where I think Knobbers wanted to test some things out, see how some players played tonight. And it wasn't the greatest effort by everybody out there.
No, it wasn't.
But I think the coaching staff got to see what works and what doesn't work. And I think
that's that's a fair point. I said I'm obviously going to be bummed when Nuge gets bumped down to the third line, even though he probably deserves it. But I think that's fair, right? I think that as much as we want to see the lines we want to see all the time, it is a good tool of evaluation for Chris Knobloch and the coaching staff to see who can play where.
We'll probably see the same thing on Thursday against Buffalo. Definitely nice to see Henrique get his first goal as an Oiler tonight.
Amen, brother.
And all in all, I think the boys did all right, and they might not have deserved the 2 points, but they got them. So I figured what a better way to end my night than leave another voicemail for BM.
I love it.
Anyways, Dukes, we miss ya. Donkey, it's your turn. Get the hell out here.
Donkey, it's your turn. You've been summoned by McMullet. Man, again, so recapping for my own brain mostly. 1:50 in the morning. He's calling me and leaving voicemails, heading back home from the Oilers Montreal game. I wish I could, McMullet, leave me a voicemail if you listen to this. I'm curious if I get these numbers right because I've been thinking about him since you and I spoke last week ahead of the Caps game. He said, this number I'm going to fuck up a little bit, but I think he said by the end of this year, he's going to have gone to 105 consecutive home games. And the crazier number was that he put up 75,000 kilometers going to said games. Again, the guy lives from Strathmore. Nobody could ever question his dedication, I'll tell you that much. First of all, you see him on TV every 15 minutes. Third, you hear what he's doing to get to and from. The guy loves the Oilers. McMullet, you're the best, dude. Next one comes in from Fibrous Chad.
All right, I got to hop in on the cereal game.
Please. Last week, of course, if you missed last week's podcast, we were doing cereal rankings. So of those, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, overwhelming winner across the board. There's a lot of mixed in there. A lot of cereals mixed in. I haven't gone grocery shopping yet this week, so I got to stock up on some of the recommendations you guys gave last week. There's so many good cereals I haven't had since childhood, and I'm super excited that this can just live on forever, Can just live on forever. Back to you, Fibrous Chad.
Half of the old farts. I'm 30 now, so I'm kind of an old fart.
30? Fuck, man. I turned 39 in 2 weeks. Give me a break.
The healthier cereals, a.k.a. fibrous cereals, my top is Raisin Bran, obviously. It's pretty good. But also the just regular all-bran flakes. Those are pretty good, and I put chocolate protein in with them. So then, you put cereal, protein on top, and then you shake it so that it kind of falls and disperses itself, but not too much because then it'll all settle on the bottom. Pour milk in, you whisk that up a little bit. Got a nice little chocolatey cereal going, but not super high sugar. And then, I do like Cheerios, but I don't know if they're called whole wheat or it's the purple box of Cheerios.
Yeah, those are good. They're wheat O's or something like that, or toasted wheat Cheerios or something like that. I'm with you.
There's kind of like a sweet coating on them. They're actually pretty good. I just happened upon them one time. Pretty good. And then for like my favorite non-healthy cereal, the just Nesquik chocolate cereal, those things
Legit.
fuck the roof of your mouth up. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
They're
they do.
pure, unadulterated deliciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I will fuck my mouth up on those things, even though they're pure sugar. They're delicious. I have those as a treat sometimes.
There you go. There's some cereal rankings from Fibrous Chad. He's got to get his fiber in. He's 30. You know, happens to the best of us. And the boxes, I just Googled it. The box of Cheerios that he's talking about, the purple one, is multi-grain Cheerios. Delicious. Again, the yellow standard box of Cheerios, that's my favorite. Absolute favorite. Anonymous caller, what say you?
Ranking Oilers Nation radio host, number 5.
Oh, here we go. If you did not listen to Oilers Nation radio the other day, I asked people to rank all 5 of the hosts. So there's me, Bag Milk, founder of the podcast. I started Oilers Nation Radio. 2, Nation Dan, the longest serving co-host outside of me on Oilers Nation Radio. Number 3, Ricardo Weedman. He would be the 3rd longest serving host. Then Tyler Hamchunk, number 4, and Lehman, number 5. So let's get these rankings going, Ari. I would love to hear these. Back to you.
Ranking Oilers Nation radio host, number 5.
Please.
Liam Horbin, number 4.
Hang on. I feel like I need to do a little fanfare here. What could I do? If I go here, my soundboard is not laid out for this kind of thing. So back to you.
Rick, number 3, Nation Dan, number 2, Tyler Remchuk, number 1, Bagged Milk.
I win. That's all that matters. The rest of the ranking really didn't matter. As long as I win. As long as I win. Ari, your check is in the mail.
Hey, BM.
What's up?
I was just listening to 2 real lives ago, and you said that your missus sent you something about having a lot of sugar in the iced coffee.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about the McDonald's iced coffee, but if you were, as a former employee, I just wanted to let you know that there actually isn't any sugar in it unless you get like the liquid sugar or if you ask for more sugar. The only thing we do is put 2 packs of grounds in a filter, brew it, and then just pour it over ice in our big container that contains nothing but the ice. So yeah, I'm not sure like how much sugar is actually in it unless you're asking for like extra pumps or you get like the vanilla or the caramel flavor. Just so you know, I don't think that much sugar is in it. Bye.
Oh, so that is great now. So yeah, in real life, I was talking about me missus sent me, I'm going to try and find it here. Iced coffee sugar. So I did find what she sent me, definitely talking about like the pumps of stuff. So we don't just get your standard iced coffee. Coffee doesn't really have any calories in it. But when I go to McDonald's dollar drink days, I get the vanilla or I'm getting the caramel. But sometimes I get extra caramel because I'm sassy like that. That's a good note though. I like going behind the scenes. There's a TikTok account I follow. He just makes McDonald's stuff. I don't know why I find that interesting, but I do. Leave me more messages. I'd love to know what else is going on at McDonald's. I would love to know. We've got Kyle the Embalmer checking in.
All right, here's my hot take, mediocre heat take, mild take. I don't know. Anyway, hear it out quick. Now, I'm going to make a claim right now that I believe as long as Marner continues to be injured for the Leafs, Zach Hyman is going to catch Austin Matthews in goals this year. Bank it. He's going to come back. He's averaging a decent number of goals in the last number of games that if he continues on this trend, he can easily catch Austin Matthews and even win the scoring title for goals. And also, I'm going to make a quick claim that he's going to score 2 and get an assist this weekend against the Leafs. So, parlay that.
For our friends at Bet9, Kyle the Embalmer chucking in a multi-goal effort from Zachary Martin Hyman. I might tell you on that. Kyle, what else you got to say?
All right. Listen, McMullet. Here's what I have to say to you about my Love is Blind updates. First off,
of course, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, McMullet told Kyle the Embalmer to shut the fuck up with his Love is Blind updates, which I personally loved because I just let them continue. No shots taken at the host, which is very important here.
If you're entirely right. Nobody wants to hear it. It's the update no one ever asked for. But what would this podcast be without some type of broken love triangle?
It is true.
Of something. So, am I going to give an update this week on the reunion? No. You know what? It had some spice, but reality is that if you had any interest in the show, you probably seen lots and lots of videos and takes on it. So we're going to leave it at that.
There you go. McMullet, no Love is Blind reunion update for you. Do you want one from me? What? No? All right. It was fun. The reunion was fun. I like when people yell at each other. Makes me happy. Listen, if I'm here to watch reality TV, I want you to be broken and fucked up or completely in love. Those are the only two outcomes I accept. Call the Embalmer's got one more.
Hey, BM, guess what? This is a second take because the first take, I don't care. No shame in the second take.
Shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So, I just wanted to say first that I had a voicemail last week that something messed up with your system and instead put my name on somebody else's. And what I actually recorded didn't get played. And instead, you thought I was this guy with the weird milk on the side of the bowl. I don't even know what that psycho is talking about. So, the voicemail I did leave had to do with my claim that Ari is Zol. Give a little background on Zol in the video game Destiny and how it's just a worm god and really isn't even a very good boss. It's actually kind of just a side enemy to fight. So makes sense that they would use Zol as Zol was a little bitch. So as for this voicemail, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm probably going to leave a couple more here right away, but different topic. So.
I love that the mystery of who is Zol.
Nobody cares who Zol is. That fucking bit is so boring. The only voice-changing people you need on this podcast is me and Big Dave. We can handle it all. We can handle it every time. Next voicemail in the Snow Valley Rainbow Valley Campground voicemail comes from LCYEG.
Hey, what's up, Big Milk?
Hello.
So I am here live from the cereal aisle because this is important. To start off,
yes.
My favorite, and it's underrated, hasn't been mentioned yet, is the Quaker Corn Squares, which is kind of like corn pops, but it doesn't cut the hell out of the roof of your mouth. Very important.
What's the deal with cereal cutting our mouths, by the way? Surely that is a design defect of some variety. No? Has to be.
And just the other day, I did buy my kids the 1 box a year that they get of Lucky Charms for St. Patrick's Day. So those are all gone 2 days in. And I gotta say, there are some... We're really reaching into the minis era of cereal. Yes. Reese Puffs minis, Cinnamon Toast Crunch minis.
Bunch of size queens we are, you know? Can't have the full size. Gotta have the mini. That way, I think they hide the shrinkflation better. When you go, oh, this box looks almost as full as it always has been. Maybe it's because they're small. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Maybe I'm a giant now. I don't know.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch rolls. I'd be interested to see what the masses think of these variations on Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There was a lot of them that came in. There was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's your classic. That's your OG. And then there's like a French toast one. And then I got the spirals. I didn't know about the minis. I might like the minis, though I'd probably eat a lot of those, I would imagine.
Otherwise, you got your basic, usual stuff that's always been around. Right now, I really want to cancel this message and start again, but I'm not, because one recording for life, you know?
Fuck right.
Kind of want to try the Vanilla Spice Cheerios.
Ooh, that sounds weird and scary.
And Honey Mini Wheats also look pretty good. So that's the live report from the cereal aisle, Bagnell. Have a good one. Cheers.
I love that. I love that. You should all leave me voicemails while you're doing menial errands. I would like to hear from you. Doesn't have to be just cereal. Maybe you're waiting for a prescription. What does that prescription do? You send it on over to Bag Milk. I'll tell you what it does. Ari?
Time for the delicious debate, Bag Milk. My question to you is, can they actually win in the playoffs with Cece in their second pair? Spoiler alert, it's not going to happen.
Get out of here, Ari. I thought we covered this.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The day after the Oilers lost to the Avalanche in OT last night. And I think I was a bit hard on Cece, actually, looking back at it. I realized that he's completely and utterly ineffective in his own end. This is what you get for not trading him, you dumbasses.
Ari is not a big fan of Cody Cece. He's very handsome, though, Ari. You got to admit that, right? If he can't play defense at a rate that is acceptable to you, at least he's handsome. At least there's that.
Hey, BM, how's it going tonight?
We got McMullet chiming in from the truck again. I can't wait to find out where you
are. First off, I just want to say thanks for the chat before the game. You said it's been a while since you've been to an Oilers home game. Well, what a game to be at.
It was. It was great.
Hyman getting the hat trick. Connor Brown getting his first goal as an Oiler. That building was nuts.
Why are all my voicemails out of order, I wonder? Because McMullet, his earlier message was talking about driving home after Montreal. Unless he's just leaving another message? I'm confused about... do I have a software update? Is there a better program I could do for this fucking voicemail situation? I don't know.
What a blast that was.
It was great.
It was great to see you and Liam tonight. Calling in here Saturday night, 2:30 in the morning. I'm almost back in Strathmore after that Colorado game. It's a tough loss. We got the point.
2:30 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning. Fuck. At 2:30 in the morning, I was sleeping. I was out conscious. I was out cold, unconscious. Separate words there, but I put them all together. There's McMullet. Leave me a voicemail at 2:30. Dude, you're the best. You are the greatest.
Tough play by Bouchard in the corner happened right in front of me. As soon as they went in the corner, all I could think was, Bouchard, you have to take the body. And he didn't. It's going to be a learning thing for Bouchard, right? He's going to learn from that mistake.
McKinnon did what McKinnon do. He'll punish you.
And come playoff time, he ain't going to make that mistake again.
Amen, brother.
I'm a little disappointed we only picked up 1 point against Colorado tonight. But when we get him in the playoffs, we're not going to let him have that point. We're going to kick the shit out of him in the playoffs.
Amen.
This was a good playoff game tonight. I like that the refs put the whistles away. There could have been a few calls both ways, but that's playoff hockey. Let them play. It's a great game. Hey, I'll talk to you again soon, buddy.
I love this. McMullet, give me some updates on the road. Again, I wish I knew why my voicemails were out of order, but that is a problem for another day. Today, we are celebrating McMullet's dedication to the Oilers and how now he's leaving voicemails at various times of the night.
There's something poetic when Sean Walker, of all people, scores 2 goals.
Why are these all out of order? What is this next one?
Hey, BM.
Hey.
Maynard.
What's going on, man?
I've been blacklisted by Tyler and Liam on their show, so...
Oh, Laird, what'd you do? They blacklisted you. Those naughty boys.
I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
It's now a day or two after the whole Connor Brown celebration the other night.
Yeah.
What do we do with this guy next year?
Nothing.
To me, I think they need to re-sign him at another league min deal. Because if they don't, there's really only two ways it's going to play out. He's going to sign someplace else for another league min deal, and he's either going to be wildly successful, which would really suck with us paying him $3.5 million or whatever it is.
Yep.
Or he's going to be the same Connor Brown again, and the other team is going to be totally fine with that because, again, the Oilers are paying him $3.5 million of his salary. I think you have to re-sign him. You have to hope he doesn't have another year next year like he does this year. I don't know. Just want your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. If he's willing to sign another league min, you're already on the hook for the bonus anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the reality is Connor Brown can be effective. If he just... I bet that he's going to have 4 or 5 goals by the end of this year now that he's got that first one off his back. Now, maybe that is me being a biased Oilers fan. Remember, preseason I said he was going to get 60 points. But if you could sign him, if he'd be willing to sign another league min deal, and then he just gets the bonus. Well, I mean, the bonus has already been paid, but it's going to hit the books. I'm totally cool with that. Totally cool with that. But I could also see him signing somewhere exactly what you said. So I think if he's willing to do a league min, you take him. If he's not, if he's wanting a raise somehow, then I don't think you can. Right? Can't be. You can't give him a raise. Right? Right?
Banknote, it is I, Soul, the will of thousands. You are listening to Better Late Than Never, where the only thing more dead than the Queen is Nick's love life. Well, at least he did a bumper for the podcast this time. It's a little bit more productive than the boring bullshit he usually does. At least he also took a shot at Nick's love life. The poor guy, I watch him sometimes at night. He's just swiping away on the dating apps. Always looking for love, but never finding himself. Poor Nick. Poor Nick.
Hungry Chad, you're up.
No, I'm not. Could I just get 2 flamethrower wraps, crispy with extra sauce?
I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. And that's it.
You want a bag for that?
Nope, I'm okay.
Sorry, no?
No, that's okay. Thanks.
That could be one of my favorite voicemails recently. I had no idea what was happening at first. It was just like, I was actually going to cut it off. Hungry Chad was obviously in the drive-thru. Hungry Chad in the drive-thru. And that makes sense why he was Hungry Chad. I hope he is satiated now. I hope you got a wonderfully fulfilling snack. And I am sure the people at Snow Valley Aerial Park and Rainbow Valley Campground would agree with me. Go check out rainbow-valley.com. Book yourself a camping spot. 2 more voicemails to work through. We've got... Oh, these are all out of order. I'm not going to play that one. That one's old. Well, we'll see.
Hey, Big Milk. Diamond Doug here.
Oh, Diamond Doug.
I regret to inform you that I'm no longer under the employment of Diamond and Diamond. Once they heard my breakfast selections, they told me that I was wrong. And if you're a Diamond and Diamond man or lady, your top 3 breakfast items are 1, muscle milk.
Fuck yeah.
2, champagne.
Hell yeah,
and
brother.
3, cocaine. Because if you're going
we at Better Late Than Never understand that this is a parody voicemail and no reflection of what goes on at that specific law firm. We have no business speculating on their diets. That was fake, lest anyone believe that was anyone from there. Don't sue me, Diamond. Don't do it. Don't do it. Last voicemail for the Snow Valley Aerial Park and Rainbow Valley Campground. It's my boy Waz.
Bag Milk, I just want your thoughts on this. I have a bit of a guilty pleasure snack that I'd like to share, and I want your thoughts. It's very...
When you say guilty pleasure snack, Waz, like my mind is automatically going everywhere. Like, does he punch a hole in his wall and start eating the fucking insulation from inside and go, I don't know why you're not supposed to eat that? Maybe. Nothing surprises me with Waz. He told me last weekend, he texted me and said, how many towels do you use after you shower? I said, 1. Why? He goes, sometimes I use 3. And my mind is still blown. That happened days ago, and I'm still thinking about it. I can't quite put my finger on this young man. I love him. I love him to death. But Waz, you confuse me. Back to your snack.
Simple. Buttered toast. Just some toast. You butter it up. Maybe it's rye bread. I went with rye. It's delicious. Easy snack. I don't know. After just one slice, I'm craving more. I don't know if it's healthy, but that's not the point. It's just delicious.
Probably not healthy. Like, I don't think bread is generally healthy. There's a lot of sugar in bread, Waz. Do you know that? I don't know about rye bread specifically, but I do know there's a lot of sugar in bread. But to answer the question specifically, buttered toast is legit, man. Ain't no problems with buttered toast. I have that all the time. But only one slice, that's your problem. I'm at least 2. At least 2. I might go back for a third if I'm feeling frisky. I might. But I'm having at least 2 pieces of buttered toast. Thinly buttered also. It's very, very important. I don't want too much butter. I don't want my toast to get soggy. But ultimately, I thought Waz was going to blow my mind. That's just a standard snack. That is an excellent snack that I'm sure the folks at Snow Valley Aerial Park and Rainbow Valley Campground would approve of. And that's how we're going to wrap up the voicemail. Remember that Snow Valley Aerial Park opens on May 31st. Bring family. I'm going to bring Tyler. Freshly engaged Tyler, by the way. Is that why he wouldn't kiss me? But he did several times. Also, the Rainbow Valley Campground, rainbow-valley.com if you want to book yourself a spot. It is the only campground in Edmonton. Go check them out at rainbow-valley.com. Plan your summer, people. There you have it. There you have it. Another episode of Better Late Than Never is in the books. I appreciate all of you for the feedback, the voicemails. I'm going to try and figure out why the messages were out of order. That bothered me. But again, this is a one-take podcast, so that's how it works. That's how it rolls. That's how we move. Until next weekend. Or next week, I should say. Or until something fun happens, where I can do a emergency episode of the podcast. This is Better Late Than Never. Thank you for being here. Please keep leaving your voicemails. Tell some friends to leave a voicemail too. Why not? Let's do it.
Why won't you kiss me? Why won't you kiss me on the mouth? Tie, tie.